Hello, everyone, and welcome to Evolve Yourself TV. I am Agni James, and today we will be doing some meditation. It's 8:15 p.m. Chicago time. How is everyone out there doing? Hey, Adam Yogi's here. Hello, hello. How are you doing today? I hope you're well. Oh, you're giving me a shout out. Pretty neat, man. Yeah, let's I kind of feel like giving myself a shout out too. I'm in one of those moods. I want to do that. I hope everyone's doing well today. I'm having a fucking terrible day. Hey, Sung Fu Wetzel, thank you so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Um, yeah, hi, good to see you here. Typically, we discuss philosophy, mental health, all sorts of issues. I try to stay away from politics for the most part. Um, but um, but yeah, for the most, but yeah, I don't know. I try to stay away from politics. Tinnitus. Wasn't that some like made up like disease and in Mr. Show in like the mid '90s? Or is it an actual real thing? Are you doing fine, Adam Yogi? That's great. Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, today was just one of those really weird days. I don't know. Some days you just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and today was one of those. And that's always a weird expression too, right? Like, what the fuck does that mean, waking up on the wrong side of the bed? Evelyn is here. Evelyn, wonderful. She is a yoga streamer here on Twitch in the fitness and health community. Definitely go check her out. She knows her stuff. She really knows her stuff. She knows her yoga. She does Pilates, and she's an Aussie, so she's got a little bite to her. And she's fun. And she makes it fun. And that's what you want. You want someone who's instructive, and you want someone who makes it entertaining. So definitely check her out and drop her a follow. Good to have you here, Evelyn. Evelyn, let's see. Sung Fu. Was I right? Is tinnitus really that thing from Mr. Show in the 90s, or am I wrong about that? We'll have to look that up later. I don't know. Right now I'm kind of in one of those moods where I don't really feel like doing a long stream. So we might hop into meditation early today. But yeah, typically we do philosophy, mental health talk, just talk about all sorts of stuff, and then we hop into it. So, let's see. Evelyn, you say you always forget to shout out Agni and always promo me. Well, I forgot to shout everyone not to do. Yeah, I mean it happens. It's crazy, right? And a lot of the viewers don't realize like it gets a little hectic here, like especially when chat builds up. You'll like I some people it's easy, right? Some people are like it's like, hey, how are you? And they're like good, and you're like, oh well, good to hear, right? And then some people are like, what is your view on the fundamental nature of reality? And it's like if you're dealing with questions like that, which philosophical questions tend to be deep, right? Because that's just kind of the nature of philosophy. Then you get backed up in chat. Like a lot of times I'll have to go back like 30 messages in chat and try to figure out what's going on. And it's also interesting because then I have to piece it together. I have to piece together the context. It's like, oh yeah, what was the context like, 20 minutes ago when they said that? And then I got to kind of like, I got to remember, back to what they said. Let's see, where are we at here? Sung Fu Wetzel, you hear a clicking noise in your ear. Oh, whenever you put a bit of pressure closer. That's what tinnitus is. Yeah, you're right. It's like a high pitch. It's like a high pitch thing. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. I know like when I've gone to some loud like metal shows and stuff like that. Afterwards my ears are ringing for days. Now when I go to concerts, I usually wear those like foam earplugs, and it's so funny because like back in the day, like people you'd get a bad rap for wearing those your earplugs. People didn't like that. People were like, oh those aren't cool. Don't wear earplugs, right? You're gonna get a bad rep, But now it's like people understand that if music is too loud and you don't want to destroy your hearing forever, put in some earplugs, right? Why not, right? Let's see, Evelyn, you say, yeah, that's hard for my brain, lol. You play chess, though, so you probably are geared for it. Not as much as you might think. And it's kind of funny that you brought up chess because I was actually contemplating the idea of doing some chess today on stream. That's my thing. That's how I make a living. That's what I do. I'm a chess instructor and I play competitively. I went to chess.com to make a new account, and they didn't like and I didn't have like a fourth email address hanging out, so they wouldn't let me make a new account. So I'll have to create another email address so I can have my fourth chess.com account. But yeah, it is weird. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea for a stream. Yeah, I kind of think I'd like to mix it up, every now and then, especially when I'm not really in like a super super talkative mood, like tonight. I don't know. I mean, you see streamers do all sorts of stuff, right? You see streamers do cooking streams. You see them do like walks on the beach. You see them do art. You see them do music. There's tons of variety streamers, right? And I'm pretty much just focused on philosophy and meditation. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes maybe I'll do some chess. That would be kind of neat. I could even give chess lessons. Maybe I could put that as something to spend your Zen points on. I think I'd have to make it a lot though, like maybe like 50,000 points. Typically I charge a lot. I charge a decent amount of money for lessons, for private one-on-one lessons. But let's see, what else is going on? How else is life for everyone? I hope life's going good for everyone out there. Oh yeah, something weird happened to me today actually. So, I woke up, I was feeling like garbage, like I said, and then I went out and I taught a private chess lesson, and it was actually kind of cool because we played some chess variants today. Those of you who are unfamiliar with chess variants, there's not just the one way you can play chess with the standard rules. There's other types, right? Like there's one called three check, where if you just check your opponent's king 3 times, or checkmate your opponent, you automatically win the game. So that's kind of cool. We played that today. And then we also played a game called King of the Hill, which means if you get your king to the center 4 squares on the board, you automatically win the game as well. So we played that. We played a game called Chess 960, otherwise known as Fisher chess, where you have all the pawns in the same places where they typically go, but then you have your back rank pieces in a varied structure, in a varied order. So like your king might be like in the corner, your rook might be like in the center, right? And however your pieces are, your opponents are mirrored in the same way. But yeah, so yeah, I'm thinking of maybe doing some streams like that in the future. All right, well, yeah. Oh, I'll tell my funny story about what happened today, though. So yeah, I was feeling like garbage. I went and taught my chess lesson, still just feeling totally, just ridiculous. And then I decided I was going to go to Burger King. All right. Now I'm not really a fast food person, so like it's pretty bad when I start going to get like fast food. I was just feeling like disgusting, and I was like, I'm going to go to Burger King. So I went to Burger King, and they had a deal. They had like 10-piece chicken nuggets for $1.50, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get 20. I'm going to get two 10-piece chicken nuggets. Why not? This is just going to be like one of those days, one of those like disgusting, filthy days. And that was literally gonna be my meal. 20 chicken nuggets. Like, what am I like 6 years old and 800 pounds? Like, I mean, seriously, like it's just gross. That's disgusting, right? So I pull up to the drive-through window, and I was like, hey, she's like, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'd like, two 10-piece chicken nuggets. And she's like, okay, your total is blah, 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 please pull up. I'm like, all right. So I pull up to the front window. I get there. I'm just sitting there forever. I'm looking at the sign. There's only one sign on the window, one sticker on the window, and it says 2 dipping sauces for each 10-piece chicken nuggets order, right? And I was like, oh, well, that's fine, because that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted the 4 dipping sauces for the 20 nuggets, right? So the lady finally comes up. I give her my card. She gives me the food. I'm waiting for her to run my card, and I look in the bag, and there's 3 dipping sauces there, and I was like, I don't want to be gypped to dipping sauce. I always, I want that 4th dipping sauce, right? It was honey mustard, right? I don't want to run out of sauce. That's like a big thing for me in life. If I run out of sauce from eating chicken nuggets, like my day's really going to be going bad. I'm already having a bad enough day, right? So, the lady comes back, and gives me my card. And I was like, look, there's only three dipping sauces in the bag. Hey, Sunrise Reads is here. How are you, Sunrise? So good to see you. Big shout out to Sunrise Reads. She is a phenomenal streamer here on Twitch. She does variety streaming. She does walks on the beach. She does readings. She was reading Pedagogy of the Oppressed, and I got to learn some cool stuff from that book. I've seen her do some art stuff. Does cooking streams. Totally awesome human being. Glad you're here, Sunrise. I'm talking about my experience at Burger King today. So you're supposed to basically get 2 dipping sauces per 10 chicken nuggets order, right? It was just a disgusting day. Like I went out to Burger King because I was feeling so low and just garbagey, right? And I ordered 2 10-piece nuggets, right? So I show the lady the bag and I'm like, yeah, there's only three honey mustard sauces here. And she's like, well, you only get 3 sauces per 20 chicken nuggets for every 20-piece chicken nugget order you have. And I was like, but I didn't, I was like, the sign right there says 10 for every 10-piece nuggets you get 2 dipping sauces, and I ordered 2 of them. And she's like, yeah, but that's 20 nuggets, and if you order 20 nuggets, if you order a 20 nugget a meal, then or 20 nuggets, then you only get 3. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I ordered 2 separate sets of 10-piece chicken nuggets. She couldn't like grasp the concept or something. It was completely absurd. And then finally, she's like, okay, okay, and like gave me another honey mustard sauce. But it was like an argument. It was crazy. It was like I couldn't believe it. Just because I don't know what her deal was, but yeah, it was pretty weird. Evelyn, you say take the 6 nuggets and throw 2 of them away. I'm trying to watch your figure. Yeah, right. Chicken nuggets are they're like the garbage food. But pretty much everything you're gonna buy at Burger King is pretty much garbage. You're not gonna get like something. You're not gonna get a meal from Burger King and you're like, wow, my body feels so healthy and happy and I just feel wonderful, right? You're gonna eat there and you're gonna like probably wish you hadn't. Um, who knows this Double O's reference? I don't know this. I don't know that one. Oh, it's from a song, Agni. You're making a lame joke. I missed it. I sometimes don't get the references, but you never know. But yeah, it's chicken nuggets. That's like my go-to food when I'm depressed. Especially since they're only like $1.50. They're on sale. Um, where else are we at in the chat? I don't know. Oh yeah, Sunrise got a new puppy. That's so cool. That's amazing. Hanging out with your new puppy. By the way, what breed of dog is it, Sunrise? Like that's pretty awesome. It's always cool when you get a new pet, right? When you get a new pet, you're always excited and you're forming that initial bond, and puppies are super energetic. So that dog's probably like all over you, right? You should in your next stream you got to have your puppy. You gotta show the world your puppy. I'd love to see it. Or you could do one of those things that I do, the Zen Point redemptions, for me to bring out my cat. I have a cat, Parmenides. She's the philosopher cat. She hangs out in the back, and people can spend channel points and get a redemption in which I bring her out, and then she basically just claws and bites my neck for like as long as I can take it, and then I put her down, and she like runs off and is like pissed off that I picked her up and brought her in here. And she's typically cool with me holding her if it's like a gentle thing and I'm in the other room. It's just like picking her up, like all like on the fly and just bringing her in here and putting her in front of the camera is not like what she enjoys. So, Sunrise, you say it's an adopted mixed breed. Oh, cool. And yes, I need to do a puppy stream. Yeah, yeah. I mean, people love pets, right? People love seeing pets on stream. I mean, everyone's always excited. Like Grace Yoga has her dogs that come in and hang out. Kittens Kung Fu obviously has Mia, his cat. People get excited when they see the animals on stream, right? I don't know. I always get clawed though and bit up a little bit, so I try to stay away from it when I can. But yeah, sometimes I guess it's good though. All right. Anything else going on, or are we just going to hop into a meditation? Sometimes I was telling everyone I'm just having a garbage day today, so I don't know. I don't really feel like doing a tremendous amount of talking. unless someone has something of a substance or to talk about, or someone has something they want to discuss, right? Because I mean, we can discuss things here, right? We can discuss, pretty much any topic. We had a troll. We had a troll a couple days ago. Those of you who are here, you got to experience that. It was kind of neat. I don't get many trolls in this channel for some reason. It's like meditation seems to like, and philosophy seems to ward off the trolls. But like we did get a troll in here, and it was a troll that was it was one of those more subtle trolls that kind of comes in and like initially like tries to sound credible and like sound like that, like they're like actually a willing participant of the chat and going to be respectful and not, hey, ripping tears, thank you so much for the follow, thank you so much appreciated. Ripping tears, my name's Agni James, and we typically do philosophy and meditation. Today I don't know how much philosophy. Yeah, hi, good to see you here. Today I don't know how much philosophy we're gonna do because I'm having a garbage day. But we'll see if we come to it. Yeah, so we had a troll. We had a troll the other day, and basically, he or she, came in and was just like initially like very excited and even like pretty decent, like just not positive, but just like a decent like human being, right? And they wanted to talk philosophy, right? So we had a big philosophy discussion going on with a bunch of people, so they kind of jumped in, and they weren't saying like super trollish things off to start, but as time progressed, they kind of got more and more trolly. And then to the point where let's say trolls are the needed balance of the universe. Ripping tears, kind of, right? I mean, and that's why I let it slide. Like some people are real quick to ban trolls, right? Some people are just like ban, or like time out immediately, right? Um, I kind of wanted to see how it was going to play out. I was kind of like, maybe I can win over the troll, right? Because that would be a pretty cool thing to do, right? To actually win over the troll, to have the troll come around to your side and be like, hey, you know what? This person has something valuable to offer. I don't feel like being a piece of garbage anymore. I'm gonna like, actually be part of this. I want to be part of this community. So, um, were they really rude? Not initially. Not initially, Sunrise. And thank you for the emotes. Yeah, I love that one too, especially your one with the hearts. It's so awesome. You have some quality emotes. We both do. We both do. Oh, and my buddy who made my emotes for me actually is going to be in town tomorrow, which is kind of cool. He's coming in from Oregon. His name's Frequently Misunderstood. He comes to the stream quite often, and just hangs out. And yeah, so I get to see him tomorrow and thank him in person for being such a nice friend. He's like super artistic and gifted with all that stuff. So yeah, were they really rude? Um, and that's an interesting question. Yeah, so like not initially. They started off fine. They were involved in the philosophical discussion, and then they started saying things that kind of like were a little more argumentative, right? And it was like, okay, whatever. We're doing philosophy. I mean, people like to argue and debate in philosophy. But then they started saying like things that were just kind of damn rude, right? So like a little bit rude, but it was like pushing the limit. It was one of those trolls. It was one of those trolls that like doesn't want to get immediately banned, but is just like gonna like kind of like see like the limit of what they can get away with, right? And go from there. But yeah, so they did that for a while, and then when I started the meditation actually, then they kept talking in the chat, which is very weird. It's weird like for someone to like just be like continuously typing like while we're actually doing a meditation, right? Like that almost never happens. And I was tempted immediately. Yeah, right. Sunrise. It was totally weird, right? It was like I was like, what the fuck is this person trying to prove? They're like they were like spouting off like nonsense about philosophy and about how people who read a lot of books don't have much knowledge about the world and things like that, and just really weird shit actually, right? But I was kind of under the impression of like, what, this troll is gonna make for a good test for me, because like right now I could like lose my cool, I could lose my peace, and I could allow it to affect me, but I could just open my eyes every minute or every so often, see make sure they haven't said anything too offensive, right? And then as long as they haven't, just go back into that place of perfect peace and oneness. And if I could do that, then it's like it was a good test for me, right? That's kind of how I viewed it. So I went along with it, and then after the meditation, they literally said something along the lines of, "Is this the kind? So this is the kind of bullshit that you do here with meditation, right? This is the bullshit here. You run meditations, and it's like obviously, right, that it's literally in the title of the stream that this is philosophy and meditation that day or whatever. So it was, and then I found out. Now here's something that kind of upset me a little bit. I didn't find out till afterwards. But one of my regulars here, JT Farms, told me that the troll actually then started DMing her actually, and was like saying some ridiculous shit just on her on her personal whispering. He was whispering her, or she was whispering her, right? So it was like, dude, you're gonna like literally like whisper people in my chat now, and like try to harass them. It's like, what, just because you couldn't get to me, now you want to like harass my fellow chat members? Yeah, right. I've never really heard of a troll just start like harassing all the people like in the chat, like in direct one-on-one, because typically trolls like an audience. They like an audience. They want to get attention. They're attention seeking, right? So typically they wouldn't just whisper someone one on one who's just engaged in chat and then start like trying to like And I don't know if any other people were if he or she whispered any other people in chat, but it was pretty strange. It was a very bizarre troll. I don't know. Let's see, where are we at here right now? Where are we at here? I missed some stuff in chat already. I always do. Let's see. Where are we at? Pets. We did the pets. We did the chicken nuggets. Uh, a Tenacious D song. Tenacious D song. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. All right. I'll have to check it out later. Yeah. You know what, Evelyn? Well, I was thinking maybe I could put it on now, but I don't know. I'm not really in the mood so right now. But all right. At sunrise, you're here for the ride. We start super excited, and then we come out. It's true. I typically come out high energy, high intensity, and my energy is even lower than usual today. Just because I'm in a super depressed mood. Like a lot of you probably can't tell, right? You probably can't tell that I'm like totally distraught right now, but I am, right? This is just it's just how it goes, and it's just there's no reason or explanation in the external world that I can find for it. So it's probably just a product of me being bipolar. Those of you who don't know, I have bipolar disorder, and one other thing, those of you who don't know me, I am super open and honest. That's like one of the main things that I discuss in here. Radical, open, and honest communication. So a few years back, I decided I was going to start espousing the notion of radical, open, and honest communication, because most people don't say what's on their mind. And there's a quote I came up with years back, and that is that people talk about everything except what's closest to their hearts. And it's so true. Think about it, right? People will gossip for hours, about anything, about what he said or she said, or someone did this, someone did that, or this movie star's, getting divorced, or this is going on, in politics or whatever. But they'll talk, days and on end about politics, right? But people don't usually typically express what's going on in the innermost recesses of their soul, of their being, right? They don't usually express that to the world. But I feel it's like the most important thing to express, right? So when I come on here, what you're going to get from me is complete open and honesty, right? So yeah, I have bipolar disorder, so I'm just kind of in a bipolar low today, and I can't take any medication for it, unfortunately, because I have chemical sensitivity. So I'm literally left with like having to just basically deal with it through all like more natural means, I guess you could say, that my body can tolerate. So like I do a tremendous amount of yoga. I do Bikram yoga, which is 105-degree yoga 90-minute sessions. I do a qigong. I do kumnaye. I do meditation all the time, right? I do all sorts of stuff, all sorts of mindfulness techniques to try to get me through the lows. Does it always work? No, it doesn't always work. I mean, earlier today, after I ate those nuggets, I literally laid down in bed. I was just like, fuck it. I got time to kill. I don't. It doesn't really matter. I'm gonna just lay down for a bit. And I just laid down in bed and closed my eyes. I was literally at that point. But like I'm feeling like A lot of times I feel a little bit better after I stream. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, where are we at here in chat? Oh, Sunrise. Let's see. You're still fighting your uni assignments. Your uni assignments. Your university assignments. I'm assuming you're referring to. Yeah. Like how's that going? Right. How's everything going with your classes? Right. I mean, are they tough? It sounds like they're challenging if you're fighting them. Yeah, I had a weird strat when I was in school. Um, I would always get all of my work done for all my classes and studied for all my tests 2 weeks in advance. And it was crazy, right? I would just lock myself in my dorm room and just do that for like to get ahead 2 weeks, and then I would just go out and party and do nothing but party for like a couple weeks. So that's kind of how that went for me. And then I would just once I party for a couple weeks, then I'd just go back and like get 2 weeks ahead and everything again. So that was my way of dealing with the university. All right. Where are we at? Oh, a redeemed hydrant. Sorry it took me so long to get to that. Yeah. I talk a lot and I don't always hydrate well. So that's it's important for you to remind me. I do have the big cup though, and I changed my cup. I was using these like old plastic blue cups forever, and they were like garbage. You can see them on all my old streams, right? And I felt like pieces of like plastic were probably like just falling off the cup into my water at some point. Like I was probably consuming plastic, so I switched to this nice yoga cup. I got at my yoga studio. The owner of the yoga studio was super appreciative for me one day because I just came in to do some volunteer work in her studio. So I just came in and started cleaning the place, did vacuuming, cleaned the locker rooms, cleaned everything up, and she was like appreciative, and she's like, "Hey, here, take a Burridge hot yoga thermos, right? For free." And it's like it's solid. It's big too. I dig this thing. The color is not my favorite. I will say this though, it doesn't. I typically I don't really like color at all. I don't even like any colors. I know. I'm just kidding. All right. Ribbon Tears, you bring up an interesting point there. Trolls are needed for the balance of the universe. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of neat to think about, right? Think about the function that they serve. Think about the function that trolls serve, right? They do kind of like they kind of put everyone in an awkward space. Everyone's like, what's going to happen here? Is he going to get banned right away? Is she going to get timed out? Is the streamer just gonna let the troll do the trolling for a while? Like what's gonna happen, right? Maybe they do kind of balance out the universe. I've never thought about it that way, Rip and Tears, but that's kind of an interesting thought. All right, Rip and Tears, you say just be an offensive troll because anyone can be messed up like that. Yeah, or just don't be an offensive troll. Yeah, right. I mean, the offensive trolls though, they just get banned right away, right? I literally had a guy come in here, or a girl. I'm assuming guys because guys tend to be more ridiculous at times, right? So like I had some dude come in here and was just like he said bear poo, and then he said puto, and then he said fucking. It's like, that's really like the extent of your creativity, man? Really? That's all you have to offer the world? Bear poo, then the word puto, and then the word fucking? Like, that's all you can come up with. It's like, you're like probably like some 40-year-old dude who's been around, been doing all this stuff in their existence, and like this is as much intellect as you got to offer the world. So it's like, now a troll like that is easy to ban right away, right? It's like I got no problem, right, banning that troll because it's just like they have nothing to contribute, and there's like no hope for a troll like that. They're literally just there to be like ridiculous and offensive like right off the bat, but this was like a subtle troll, right? This subtle trolls, you kind of like keep them around for a while, and then depending on your mood, you let them go or whatever. Let's see. Sunrise, you say that is exciting. Hope you have a nice time with your friend tomorrow. Oh yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we're actually I'm throwing a party here. I'm hosting a gathering at my place. It's gonna be great. I have a bunch of friends coming out. We're gonna be doing that, or a big cookout. It's gonna be nice. in the sense too, because okay, so there's a type of beef called I think I mentioned this on one of the streams recently. It's called not wagyu, wasku or wagsu. Hold on a second. I gotta look this. Let me look this up. Let me find this. And I think I can actually pop it up in the window. All right. Let me like make sure I get my let's see display. Nope, that's not the right one. Well, yeah. Hold on. Let's go to display. Let's go to. I think I need to do this actually. Hold on. All right, there we go. It's wagyu beef. Wagyu beef. All right, so let's try to pop this out. I got to get better with switching scenes anyway. All right, so by the way, I think you can all see everything, right? Wagyu beef or wagyu beef, the unique taste and tenderness of highly marbled wagyu beef makes for an unveiled eating experience. The beef contains the highest amount of CLA per gram of any foodstuff, about 30% more than other beef breeds, due to higher linoleic acid levels. I can barely read it from this little window. Okay, interesting. All right. So yeah, so that I guess that's what it's made in. It's he got it sent here from Japan actually. He lives in Oregon, and he got it sent here from Japan, which is pretty neat. It came in a thing of dry ice and got delivered to my door, and I just took it out and put it in the freezer. But I think he paid like $400 for it. Can you imagine that? Like $400 for some beef. Like that's. I mean, this better be like the best beef like he's ever had in his life. I mean, I think it was like just a few. It was just a few ounces. It was like 4 ounce, 6 ounces of it or something like that. It was crazy how much he paid for it. He wanted to try out the best beef in the world. So I get it, right? So yeah, he's gonna come over. We're gonna have a big cookout. A bunch of my friends are gonna come over. I'm just gonna grill out, a bunch of burgers, other stuff like that. Should be a good time. Rip and Tears, you say you're more of a flirtatious troll, like Deadpool. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Yeah, you're not gonna be a troll that's gonna come out and just be like bear poo, and then like that's like all you have to say, right? All right. Let's see. Oh, Sunrise, you were asking what they were saying. Uh, Life's weird. By the way, pizzas or tacos? Soft tacos. Now okay, pizza or tacos? That's a good question, right? For me, it's going to come down to pizza. It's going to come down to pizza for me. It's like that's kind of like, I mean, of course, but if you have to eat pizza every single day, then it's gonna get old after a while. But like if it's just like if you could just have one and you could have it periodically, throughout your life, I would go with pizza. The Library of Alexandria. I know almost nothing about it. I know almost nothing about it, to be perfectly honest. So it's cool that you brought up. What are your thoughts on it? I don't know anything about the Library of Alexandria other than that like it was like from what I understand like the one of the biggest nicest libraries of the time, right? It was like this huge repository of information, right? When people didn't typically have that kind of stuff, right? All right, where are we at here? Sunrise Dam. If I was here, I could have put my moderator battle skills to the test. Yeah, you weren't here. I know. No worries. But yeah, it was a weird troll though. Like I said, it was more like a very kind of like subtle troll. But they got progressively more inflammatory as time went on. It was like they saw they were having no effect. They were having no effect, and then so they kind of like were like, well, let's just get more and more absurd and ridiculous, and then start getting offensive. Until the point where they get banned. And then I did a cool thing too. Even I thought it was cool at least. I sent them a thank you. I said thank you for following my channel. and then the troll was like he literally just said I gotta go to bed. That's what he said. And that was the last that I've heard from him. Redeem points. Have a Snickers. Yeah, right. Have a Snickers. I mean, I could use a Snickers right now. I already ate 20 chicken nuggets earlier. If I'm gonna do that, I might as well just be eating 20, Snickers bars at this point. Oh, God. I'm not big on sweets actually. That's like the one like one of the things I decided a long time ago. I was like, what is one thing that I can do that would be like really that would really improve my health? And I was like, why don't I just cut out dessert? And I just fucking pretty much cut out dessert for my life. At a family function, I might have like something small at some point, but like for the like I don't have any candy in my place. I don't have anything like that. I just cut it out. I was like, man, this is not really doing anything for me. This is just, I mean, it's like you get that initial like craving, that initial like burst of like flavor, right? And it's like it tastes great, but then you always feel worse after you eat it. You always just kind of feel like garbage. So I just I probably cut it out, for the most part. Every once in a while, I'll splurge a little bit, but yeah, I'm not a big dessert guy. All right, where are we at here? Sunrise, you're saying, wait, that is super duper weird. I heard there are hate bots on Twitch, and hate raids are happening. Have you heard of this? A posture check. All right, you redeem posture check. Rip and tears. I will definitely sit with better posture. I'm big on posture. In fact, I articulate during the meditation a lot of time for people to watch their posture and make sure they're being aware of their posture and sitting with good posture. So I should definitely be sticking to that. So yeah, posture check. Um, that's Sunrise. That is crazy. Hate bots? Literally, is that what we've come to now? We have bots that are just gonna go do the hating for us. Like what a joke, really? That's what's going on in hate. I actually did just recently hear of the hate raids. That blows my mind. It's like really you're gonna just try to go into a channel and just like try to just destroy it by bringing a bunch of people in and spewing hate. That blows my mind. It literally blows my mind that people are doing this kind of stuff. And especially because at the end of the day, we're all just human beings trying to exist on this planet. We're trying to get up, just get up in the morning and go to work and do our daily routine and work out and just live like healthy lives, and just try to find someone who we can have a good relationship with. I mean have friends, and it's like why are we wasting our time with all this hate nonsense, right? But that's just if you look back 100,000 years, that's just the way it's been. I mean, people, apparently that's the thing. It's like, what else are you going to do as a human being? Well, I guess we're going to wage some wars. We're going to wage wars, and we're going to hate other groups of people because we got nothing better to do, or let's hate them because of the color of their skin, or hate them because of their political views, or hate them because of X, Y, or Z. We're just gonna hate them for all sorts of reasons, right? There's always a reason you can find to hate someone if you're looking at it. But if you're looking for it. But the thing is, the truth of the matter is, if you hate someone, it's because you hate yourself. Deep down, you feel hatred towards yourself. That self-hate then is projected outward onto an X, Y, or Z in the world, right? And that X could be a person, place, or thing, right? Or the same thing with the Y or the Z, right? It could, or like states of affairs, right? So you could say like, oh, I hate this person because they I don't know, scratched my car, or I hate this person because they gave me a dirty look when they were driving down the road or something like that. And the only reason you can hate them is because you hate yourself, right? So that's something to keep in mind. When we lose, if we when we're out there just trying to look for people to hate, we have our own issues, right? If you're in a state of perfect love and oneness, it is impossible. It is impossible to hate another human being. It is absolutely, you can't be done. When you're feeling nothing but eternal joy and bliss pouring throughout your entire being, the word hate doesn't even arise. That's like the last thing you would think of. So, it's just a weird thing to go on. I don't know how I would handle. If that happened in this channel, I would just immediately start banning people. I don't know. If there were 1,000 people, maybe I'd end the stream, or maybe I would just, who knows what would happen. Maybe I just end it and start it right back up, or something along those lines. Sunrise, you say it's kind of all over the internet, but you just kind of ran into it recently. Oh, really? You were on Twitch? Were you on Twitch and it happened, or were you on a different platform? Rip and Tears, you say you're participating in chat. Uh, yeah. Okay. Another hydrate. All right, good. I gotta drink more water. Hey, Imbalanced Physique is here. Big shout out to Imbalanced Physique. Imbalanced Physique is an awesome streamer here on Twitch in the fitness and health community. One of the reasons I love the guy, and I always say it, is because he's so genuine and honest and authentic in his mode of being. Um, he's been around a while, and he knows the crew. He knows everyone in the fitness and health scene here. Definitely check out his streams. Definitely drop him a follow. He does a lot of workout streams. And he explores other issues too, which are important. He talks about mental health, which is something we talk about on this stream too. So he's a positive force here. And also let's send him some love and light, because he's going to be having a surgery coming up sometime soon. When did you say your surgery was, Imbalanced? You said it's coming up sometime in the next couple months, right? But yeah, let's send him some love and light, during our meditation. So and hopefully, the surgery will go smooth, and everything will be good. All right, where are we at here? Rip and Tears, fingers crossed, candles are scented. And then Sunrise, you say, oh, yeah, oh, by the way, these candles in the background, and I'm gonna say this right now. I originally started using just I originally started this, like 6 months ago when I started streaming, using real candles. And like that was a fucking disaster, and it was just annoying. It was just really irritating, always having to switch out the candles. Um, so I actually just bought, these are literally LED candles now. So like that's what I got back there. So like I was sick of them burning out like midway through the stream, and like always changing them. So I just went the easy route. Yeah, so that's what we got back there. So they're not scented, unfortunately. Kind of wish they were. Sunrise, you say, we love you. How are you, Agni? Yeah, I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. I usually feel better after I stream, so because I'm giving something to the world, right? When I come on here, it's because I love every human being unconditionally, and that's my firm stance. I take that 100% to the grave. Every single person here in the universe, I love unconditionally. Now, of course, if someone attacks me, I'm going to defend myself, right? I'm not saying I would never like articulate, a notion as absurd as that to like not defend yourself or get help, if someone's like going to attack you in a situation like that. But if someone attacks me, after I'm done, restraining them or defending myself or calling the cops or doing whatever I need to do, once I'm like safe from that immediate threat, I forgive them. I practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is is so important. It's the most important principle, in my life, and how I view like we can help humanity, right? By just having people basically learn to forgive, other people in their world, other situations that arise, and themselves. A lot of times people are the hardest on themselves, right? I'm super hard on myself. I demand like so much out of myself that it's crazy. When I was younger, if I would get one wrong on a test, like one question wrong, like even if it was like like 100-point test, if I missed 1 point, I would be furious. I would lose my shit. It was crazy, right? I would like want to rip up my papers, and I was such a perfectionist. I was such a perfectionist, control freak, that I needed that perfection on every single assignment. It was wild. It was crazy that I was like that. And I, through mindfulness, I've learned to just be more accepting of myself and be much more, cool with myself and whatnot. But yeah, there's still times where I'm my biggest critic. I get down on myself. Let's see. Sunrise, you say often when you talk about things close to your heart, you get hurt. Like I should desire or need something else dictated by society. Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point, Sunrise. When we talk about things that are close to our heart, we put ourselves in a vulnerable state, right? We're basically putting it out there. We're basically saying, look, here's something very, very important to me, and I'm putting it out now to the universe, right? Now, how's the universe going to respond? Am I gonna get hurt, right? It's like, it's important to let out whatever you're feeling, right? I mean, and that has the intrinsic value in itself. There's value in that, in just the release of that energy, the release of that thought, the release of that feeling or whatever. And so it's like, it's always, there's a fine line, right? Like if you've just undergone something super traumatic and you're not ready to process it or deal with it, obviously, yeah, you want to wait a little bit. But over time, you want to be able to express how you feel, and you really need to be able to let that kind of stuff out. Rip and Tears, you were born with ADHD and lactose intolerant. So okay, so you get mental illness, you get it. ADHD. Yeah, it's funny. I've had doctors like say I have it at times, and then they're like, no, he doesn't. And then I've had other doctors say he does, and they think I have like a touch of it. Like what? I don't even know what the fuck that means. Like that to have like a touch of it. But they tried when I was younger. They tried me. They gave me some medications for it that like that did help a little bit. But yeah, that's another thing. I have, not only am I bipolar, I might have a touch of ADHD, and I have OCD tendencies as well. And so it's just like I'm like a mental health nightmare, right? I've had to deal with all this shit, and I can't tolerate much medication these days for it due to chemical sensitivity. Sunrise, you say we also feel a lot better after your streams, and it's okay to not be okay sometimes. We are here even if you don't have much anything to say. Thank you so much, Sunrise. It's totally I'm totally appreciative of you and of what you say here. That's just that I mean, I'm doing this for everyone out there. I want to teach forgiveness. I want to teach meditation. I want to teach philosophy. These are the things that I think that can benefit humanity the most right now, and that I'm most capable of teaching others. Right? I mean, if I was a crisis worker, I would be doing that, right? And I also teach chess, and I think chess can actually benefit people as well. I've taught chess to a lot of young kids, and I think like teaching them to think ahead is going to definitely be crucial in their lives, right? Because chess is a lot about planning your moves, right? Planning your moves, and so is life a lot of times, right? It's like and in life, if you could think, well, wait a minute, if I rob the grocery store, then I go to jail, and jail sucks, and I don't want to be in jail, therefore I should not do X, I shouldn't rob the grocery store, right? Then that maybe they won't rob the grocery store, right? Because maybe those kids will grow up to like think ahead a little bit further, right? And think about the repercussions of their actions. All right, where are we at here in chat? Ooh, there are assignments due soon. You feel anxious about them because you haven't ever done this kind of business assignment before, but it will be okay. It will totally be okay. First of all, you're super intelligent. You're super intelligent. You don't need to worry about that. And second of all, it's like when I was in school, when I was in college, and even grad school, like I was ridiculous. Like I was saying earlier, I would get so much anxiety. I have an anxiety disorder as well. So like I'm a mental health, complete nightmare, right? But I would have a lot of anxiety and like, about stuff. But things always work out. At the end of the day, like if you put in the effort, if you put in the time and effort, things typically work out. And that's just kind of my feeling on it. Like even when like things like wouldn't work out the way I'd want them to work out, they'd work out in a different way that was like probably more beneficial for me. So that was something I learned when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I had a really good philosophy in life, and I don't know where I got this from, but my philosophy was that no matter what happens, everything always works out in the end. And that's basically that was like my God. That one saying, right? I just basically believed that, that no matter what, things will work out. And it got me through a lot of times, a lot of really challenging times when I did hold that belief. So like, yeah, I don't know. And then things changed, and I had some situations that I felt didn't work out. The main example of this, and this is like, by the way, this is me being as open and honest as possible, because that's how I am. Is that when I was 19, my sister committed suicide. She killed herself. And so it's like, at that point, it's like all of a sudden things did not work out, and like I was just furious, I was so angry, so depressed, so distraught, and I still battle that to this day. Like it's crazy, right? It's crazy, like dealing with the suicide of a loved one. I mean, it's one of the hardest things, you could possibly ever endure. My only sibling, she just decided to off herself one day. And so yeah, so like that's me being radically open and honest with you. I share it with you because it's, I think it's important. I think it's really important to be that way. And I think by letting it out, feel better about ourselves. We can move on and process it more. Yeah, not a day goes by where I don't think of her and think about how my life, the trajectory would have been different. Because like the path that I was on in life was vastly different than where I ended up. I cared nothing about philosophy at the time. I cared nothing about it. I thought it was basically worthless because you couldn't get a high paying job from it, right? So like it didn't interest me. I was all into molecular biology at the time and psychology, and I was gonna go off and make a lot of money and have like genetically engineer human beings. That was like my crazy goal, right? I wanted to like be in the biotech movement, and like be doing stuff with that. And then things change. My sister offed herself, and I just all of a sudden started getting into more into psychology and focusing on that because I wanted to understand mental illness better. And then like I went through this weird, crazy self-destructive phase, and because basically everything in my life fell apart. Everything in my life, my whole world fell apart. Everything and everyone I knew who was close to her, they had started having issues, and it was just this terrible situation. And yeah, I lost everything over the course of like the next 5 years or so. But yeah, it's a very sensitive subject, but I'm willing to express it, even though it's like me at my most vulnerable, right? Because it's me at my most vulnerable, but I'll say it out here on Twitch. I'll say it to the world. Why not? All right, where are we at here now? Uh, Adam Yogi, you say you like that color too, but yeah, black is best. But yeah, black has always been my favorite. It's always been my favorite color. Like, I have the most ridiculous closet ever. If you look in my closet, it's just like black metal shirt, black graphic tee, black, this, black that, like it's just black shirts, like going all the way back. It's crazy, it's wild. And then dress shirts. I have, obviously I can't wear like, when I go into like to teach chess, for private lessons or like in schools and stuff like that. I gotta like obviously dress up. So I can't just only wear black dress shirts and stuff. And I have a few other different colored shirts, but like it's crazy how monochrome my shirt selection is. I don't know. There's something so simplistic and just like easy about not having to think so much about your wardrobe. You just going in and like grabbing a shirt, and not having to think about the color. And then like black matches pretty much everything, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. There's not many colors that black doesn't match very well, right? So yeah, where are we at here? All right. Knock knock, who's there? Olive who? I olive you. Ripping tears, nice, nice. That's a good one. All right. JT Farms, you say don't fuck up cooking it. Yeah, right. My friend who spent the $400 on his how do we say this again? I can never. It's a wagyu, wagyu, right? That type of beef, right there. He spent the $400 on like I don't know, 4 or 6 ounce portion of this beef. Like, it better be good. And he's coming over tomorrow, and I'm not touching that. JT Farms, I am not going to touch that food. He is going to be completely in charge of cooking that, because I don't want to be held responsible for fucking up some $400 piece of beef that I've never even cooked before, right? Who knows? It could need special has special instructions. All right, let me see if I can. Let's see. Here's a clip from Sunrise. I want to see if I can get my display set up correctly. So let's do window capture, and we'll go to, no. Okay, it's not gonna let me do the one I want to. Oh, and by the way, do you guys want to see the really cool one? Here, check this one out. But hold on. Let me get rid of this first. This is the one I like the most. We go back to display capture. Is it working? Is it doing its thing? No, it's not, because of window capture. All right, fair enough. So there's like, it does that infinite regress thing I always like, where you can see like all sorts of stuff. But anyways, we're gonna go back to scene. All right, let's check out the clip. Like,
put everyone. They kind of put everyone in an awkward space. You know, everyone's like, what's okay? What's going to happen here? Is he going to get banned right away? Is she going to get timed out? Is the streamer just going to let the troll troll do the trolling for a while? Like what's going to happen, right? Um, maybe they do kind of balance out the universe.
Yeah, it's here's something funny, by the way. I just want to interject this first. Like I always, Sunrise is great at doing clips for me, and she does clips. Hyperdumb used to do a bunch of clips for me too. People do clips every now and then. But like I always like tend to like start nodding my head and being like, yeah, this guy knows his shit. This guy knows what he's talking about. And it's like me doing the clip. It's so absurd. I don't know. I'm trying not to do that because it's so fucking ridiculous. But it's just how it goes, right? Um, would you be, let's see, soft tacos with hard veggies and tender meat? Ooh, now I'm getting hungry because I just had those stupid 20 chicken nuggets earlier. That's literally like I had my normal breakfast. By the way, every morning I eat this exact same breakfast. Well, almost every morning. I eat 2 hard-boiled eggs. I eat 1 Greek yogurt with a little bit of organic granola on top and blueberries. And like then I have a fresh squeezed orange juice with that, and like a cheese stick or like some cheese curds or something like that, right? And I eat the same breakfast every morning, and it's like it's always my thing. It's just like it decreases the decisions I have to make, right? I don't want to make a lot of decisions in the morning, right? In the morning I want to work out, I want to do my shit. I don't want to have to make like big decisions when I'm like trying to get the sleep sand out of my eyes, right? So I eat the same thing every morning. So then I just had that, and then I had the 20 chicken nuggets. That was my like the highlight of my day, right? Your day is pretty bad when like eating 20 nuggets from Burger King is like the highlight, right? But yeah, but you're getting me hungry, really ripping tears with the soft tacos with hard veggies and tender meat. Would you be barbecuing tofu Sundays? My vegan friend. You're. Yeah, I think I have a friend that's coming over that's pescatarian. I don't think any of my other friends are vegan. Oh, but you guys are talking about the. Oh, so Sunrise, you're vegan. Sunrise, are you vegan? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. All right, okay. Where are we at here? Raspberry. Ooh, raspberries are good. Yeah, I like it. I love raspberries so much. Uh, I think I felt okay. I felt way behind in chat. I've totally lost context, so we're gonna have to just move on. Sunrise, you say, I think he's a unicorn. Some of us aren't human beings anymore. Some of us are bots or robots, it seems. Yeah, right. Yeah, people are not streaming on the 1st of September on Twitch to protest for Twitch to do something about the hate bots. Wow, that's wild. That's wild. Interesting. So maybe I should not stream on September 1st. Huh. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Or maybe I should stream and have a stream about the hate bots. That might be something kind of interesting. Rippeteers, you like my beard? It's so majestic, like a unicorn. That's where the context is. See, you go back far enough, you get the context, right? Yeah, thank you. Well, I much appreciate it. Yeah, I do like weird stuff with this beard. Like, I mean, I used to have this all shaved off, and I actually had a French braid going down here, and this was all braided, and I had like one long braid coming down like here, right? I had it like that, but then I'm in yoga one day, and the fucking thing was just like kind of like on a weird angle, and it looked like really weird, and it was like just distracting me. And like you're supposed to just focus on yourself, like when you're in yoga, right? And when I do Bikram yoga, so it's just like a whole wall of mirrors. So you're literally standing there like looking, staring right at yourself. And like the beard was like sweating, was just on this weird angle, and it was like throwing me off. And then like I kept having to like adjust it, and I was like, I can't have this. I'm a yogi. I don't need any more distractions in my life, right? I don't need those kind of distractions. So I cut it off. I just completely went clean shaven for a while, and then I was like, I don't like this. I don't really like this at all. So I just mix it up. I kind of like stick with a certain style for a while, and then I just change it depending on how I'm feeling it at a given moment. A lot of times, like what will happen is I'll just get like really warm. I'll be like, I burn hot to begin with, and like I'll just get back from Bikram yoga, and I'm hot as hell, and I just want to like cool down, and I'm like take a shower, and I'm still hot, and I'll just like shave it all off, and I'll get pissed off and just shave it off. Um, maybe I am a unicorn. It's possible that I'm a unicorn. Some of us aren't human beings anymore. Some of us are bots or robots, it seems. Yeah, what if I'm a bot? What if this person, this presence is literally just a bot? I'm actually like a robot, like not just a computer bot. I'm actually a robot. Like my one of my earliest my earliest existential crises happened when I was 8 years old. I was watching. There was a show. There was some crazy show on called. They used to be on back in like many years ago called Small Wonder. It was about like this robot girl, right? She was like her name was she was like I don't know 8. She was probably like 8 or 10 years old supposedly, and she was like a robot. And like I started thinking, holy shit, she's a robot and she looks like a human being. What if I'm a robot? And like I went and asked my parents. I'm like, "Hey parents, am I a robot?" And they were like, "No, you're not a robot. Chill out, go back to sleep, right?" And I was like, I was up all night in bed, like freaking out, thinking, "How do I know I'm not a robot, right? How do I know?" Right? And and then I couldn't let it go. And I was like, what if they were lying to me? They lied to me about Santa Claus. They fucking told me there's a Santa Claus. My trust with them is already violated. So like, what if they're lying to me about this too, right? What if I'm a robot? And like, they kind of just shrugged it off, like they thought I was kind of like a joke. But I was going through like existential angst. I was like struggling with that thing, because I mean, what am I going to do, right? As an 8-year-old, you can't. I'm not going to like cut my arm open to tell, and then like. But like I thought I might be a robot, and it really threw me off. All right, Sunrise, we got a clip from you. Let's play it because I love your clips.
I'm not a big dessert guy. All right, where are we at here? Sunrise, you're saying, wait, that is super duper weird. Heard there are hate bots on Twitch, and hate raids are happening. Have you heard of this? A posture check. All right, you're doing posture check.
The hate bots. That's real. That does kind of blow my mind. That does kind of blow my mind. That's going on. That we got hate bots out there now. Well, then maybe I'm like a love robot. I'm like a love bot. I'm the dude that comes out here preaching love, and even love the haters. That's what I'm preaching. Love the haters. Love thy enemy, right? That old thing. If someone hates you, just love them even more. Like that's how I feel. And I'm not saying obviously like that you have to hang out with them and like do nice things for them. But I'm saying in your heart feel that love for them. It's like the hardest thing to ask of another human being, and that's what I ask of my of my chat of everyone I talk with. I say just try to love the people that you hate the most, right? Yeah. So that's kind of like something that I discuss in here. Where are we at? Wow. Okay, we're pretty far behind. We would have to create a moderator army. You have to deal with all those hate bots. All right. You heard about the hate raids on someone else's Discord channel, Sunrise. Okay. We're flipping through stuff. Only philosophy, ripping tears. You want only philosophy. Only is that like OnlyFans or whatever? All right. Imbalanced. You're actually not going to be streaming for 1 month. Surgery is 3 months, and you're actually not going to be streaming for 1 month. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll send you love. We'll send you love from the meditation today. Hopefully you'll feel better. All right. A lot of positivity in here. Rippeteers trolling me with the LED candles. I know, right? It's like, okay, when I initially started streaming, I was all about, like having the authentic candles in there and like making it legit, because that's something about me, right? I want to be genuine. I want to be authentic, right? I want to be truthful, and I feel like my setup should be that way. Like you'll see some streamers and they have like really elaborate setups, and it's like it's cool and it looks beautiful, like, and it's awesome, but like that's not me. I'm very minimalistic, right? So this is like a very minimalistic setup, and I wanted to use real candles, and I was using real candles for the first 4 months, but then it just became such a ridiculous pain, and then like not to for many reasons, but like so yeah, and they were just burning down too quick, and it was just. It's like I was always worried that like they were gonna like one was gonna fall off and like light my place on fire, because I'm a little bit neurotic like that. Hey, JT Farms is here. Did I even say hi to you? Holy shit, JT Farms, my channel shaman. How are you doing today? Those of you who don't know, JT Farms is the channel shaman. She keeps the energy pure and good. JT Farms got to experience the troll that we had the other day. He was whispering her. He was sending her private messages. He was DMing her. It was crazy, right? It's like, what kind of trolls DMing people in the chat? What a weird person. All right. JT, you say sometimes what we need to, in response to imbalance, you say sometimes what we need to recharge is just to find time to be with ourselves. Your viewers will always be here when you're ready. It's true. Imbalance, you have good content. You're a good content creator. You're a nice, authentic, genuine dude. People will still be here for you. When you come back to streaming. Just take a break and we'll see how it goes. Honestly, I'm grateful to hit my milestone, which is 500 followers. You never expect your channel to exceed. Dude, 500 followers is incredible, man. That's really good. I just reached my 200 follower mark, and I was pretty damn happy that this stream seems to be working. People are tuning in. People want to hear about philosophy. People want to discuss mental health. People like radical, open, and honest communication. And people like learning about meditation. They want to meditate. They want that peace and love and light in their lives. So yeah, that's how it goes. All right, JT Firms, you say that is awesome. You're still thinking about getting a tat. Oh, you're getting something about someone's getting a new tattoo or something. All right, cool. Imbalanced, you say, yeah, I'm still getting the tattoo. You just don't know when. What's your tattoo going to be of? Imbalanced? Did you say it already here? Maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed it somewhere along the lines. But anyways, okay, that's cool that you're getting a new tat. Half sleeve. That's going to take time out. You have to continue streaming though. All right, cool. All right, we got a little bit behind in chat. What a surprise, right? This happens all the time. Hey, Tindereos is here. How are you doing, Tindereos? Sorry I didn't acknowledge you till now. We got super behind in chat, like always, because. And I was actually thinking about that recently. Like, why do I get so behind in chat? You'll see streamers with like big time streamers, able to handle the chats, really well, and they'll knock off people's responses real quick. It's obvious though. It's because I do philosophy and I talk a lot, right? So when there are no short philosophical answers for the most part, right? Like whenever you ask a question about philosophy, it's always going to be require some exposition. You have to discuss for a certain length of time in order to actually give a good answer usually. That's just how it goes. So I'm not just saying hi, to everyone. Sometimes some people are like, what do you think the foundational nature of reality is? I can't say that, just explain that in one word, All right, let's see what we got here. Sunrise, another clip from Sunrise.
Shower and I'm still hot, and I'll just shave it all off. I'll get pissed off and just shave it off. Maybe I am a unicorn. It's possible that I'm a unicorn. Some of us aren't human beings anymore. Some of us are bots or robots, it seems. Yeah, what if I'm a bot? What if this person, this presence is literally just a bot? I'm actually like a robot.
Yeah, a disclaimer, this is a robot sitting here. This is not a real person. Google has made super intense strides with their AI. And not just their AI, their robotics, right? So I think was it Boston Robotics or something? There's some company that's it's amazing. They have bipedal machines that can walk around, amazing now, and look and are pretty functional in a lot of ways. And I'm just a robot, I think. I think that's what that's why I'm having all the issues that I have, because in truth I'm just a robot. I was never a human being to begin with. It's like fucking Westworld out here, right? All right. Tindereos, you just came back from the gym. All right, that's good. Yeah, go to the gym and then relax a little bit. Yeah, nice. All right. You're talking about the hate bots. All right. You have a lot of marathon every few years. Every one of your favorite book series and movie franchises. Doing a kind of book marathon at the moment. Book one a day since June 23rd. That's a lot. Wait, reading an entire book per day? That's really, really wild. I have never undertaken something so intense, but that sounds amazing. Nice. All right. Joy, JT, you say you're not even here. A little invisible Joy. Yeah, you're invisible. You're not even here. You're not even here. You're just kind of hanging out in the ether. Where are we at? Tindereos, you got 4 followers now. Wait, what's going on? Are you streaming? Are you streaming now, Tindereos? I didn't know. If you stream, I'll give you a shout out, man. Like, or are you just joking with me? So much goes on in chat. I never know who's streaming and who's not streaming. Oh, you just started today. You just started today, dude. Okay, we're gonna give you a follow. Let me just do it right now, actually. Tindereos. Let's actually. Can I do it from this window? Let me see if I can do it from this window. It'd be easier. Tindereos. Everyone go give Tindereos a follow. Bam. There we go. All right. Tindereos, you now have 5 followers. All right. I hope hope that helps. I'm excited to check out one of your streams. That's so cool, dude. Congrats on taking that step. You know, a lot of people just start out just as viewers in the chat, right? And start asking questions. They tend to like what's going on, and maybe they have something to say or something to talk about, and then they start streaming. Well, good. Good for you. Good for you. That's awesome. I'm totally gonna support you whenever I can, man. That's great. Awesome. Imbalance now to stuff your face with fried rice and root beer float. Yeah, dude, I get it, man. I get it. I ate 20 nuggets today. Sometimes it's just the way. Sunrise, you say you think the reason you get banned in chat is because you troll and spam your chat with emotes. No, that's not the case. It's not the case because I can move through that quickly. It's always the deep like philosophical questions that tie me up for a while. You don't mind that you take your time to talk through it. Okay, good. Yeah, and JT Farms, you're totally right. She does. Sunrise is all about positivity. She's spamming positivity, so it's like it's good. It's great. Rip and Tears, finished cooking tofu stir fry. Nice. Now you have a good meal. You got a good meal to eat up on. Nice. All right. Sunrise, you say, I know you're not a robot because robots can't do Bikram yoga in 40-degree rooms. Yeah, right. I don't know. Maybe they can't. Maybe that's going to be the ultimate test for a robot to see if they can handle it. Actually, robots could probably do Bikram yoga on the moon, right? Or like in the sun. Well, maybe not in the sun, obviously, because they'd burn up right away. But like, I'm like in like weird environments. I'm sure they could probably handle 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, I'm getting hungry. We're talking about food. Let's see. Tindereos, you say other streamers they do cherry pick, but there is one trick some do if it's important or somebody wants to interact with the stream. They do a Evolve Yourself TV, for example. If they don't, it's not important, or a chatting with the other chatters. It's also highlighted. Then, and of course, they can do the points. Highlighting if it's really important, right? One book a day, 1 to 400 pages a day. That is fucking impressive, man. That is super impressive. 400, man. That's a lot. That's like no wonder you're so well read, and well versed. I mean, if you're knock out 400 pages a day of anything, I mean, that's intense. That's really intense. Okay, JT, you say, haha, I don't need an audience, just a space to land my expression. Thank you for viewing, subscribing, and love all the time. JT, we're gonna get you streaming. Sunrise and I are gonna pressure you into it. You better watch out. We've discussed this before. Tindereos, you say it's a gym stream, by the way. You still have to figure out how you can do a TTS on your phone while in the chat, so you can react directly. Yeah, and that's one of the things about streaming. Like, there's a lot of weird tech issues that always arise, and no matter how long you've been streaming, I mean, they just happen. Like, weird things happen with Stream Elements, Streamlabs. I use OBS Studios. Some people use the Twitch app. Some people are doing it from their phone. Like, there's always weird stuff and glitches that arise. It's just part of the nature of the game. You gotta try to just allow it to be and not get too frustrated when it doesn't work. Sometimes you got to end your stream and just restart it. It's super frustrating. Like, I've had it where my stream just ended in the middle of a meditation. Can you imagine that? You're just like in the middle of a meditation, sitting peacefully, and then all of a sudden, it's like the stream's over. You're like, what the fuck happened, right? My stream just shut off. Like, Twitch glitched, and Twitch is really glitchy. But yeah, you'll get the hang of it. Just try not to get frustrated when those issues do arise. Sunrise redeemed stretch. I do need to stretch a little bit. Oh. Stretch out. All right. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we gotta stretch, And I say this all the time. I mean, our bodies are animal. We're basically animals, for our bodies at least. So like, what do animals do? Animals stretch. Cats stretch, right? Dogs stretch. Animals stretch. It's important to stretch. That's good for our bodies. Our bodies are made to stretch and to drink plenty of water. That's how we're constructed. We need that. We need that kind of stuff. So like, when we don't stretch, it's like, it's not. Predict the channel points. Is Agni a unicorn? All right. Let's see what viewers have to say. Let's have the chat figure this out because it doesn't let me vote. That's something that like it's whenever there's a channel point prediction in here, I don't get to even put in a vote, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll see. We will see what happens with that. All right. And then I did it. I reached the end of chat. I reached the end of chat. Awesome. Cool. All right. So I'm excited. This is like the first time I've ever done it. No, I'm just kidding. I usually get through it because what happens is I kind of just start like skipping some stuff. All right. Yes. I am a unicorn. Apparently I am a unicorn. All right. It's settled. It's settled. I should come out here, with the horn one of these days. I should come out here wearing the horn. Unicorns are pretty cool. They're pretty cool creatures, right? Mythical beasts. I mean, how could you not like a mythical beast? Pretty neat. Yeah. Now you know. So, well, it's better to be a unicorn than a robot, right? I feel like if I was a robot, I just wouldn't have that connection of love and peace with the universe. As a unicorn, I think I could definitely have that connection, right? And that's important. All right, Tinderios, you say there you can do a normal poll without the point system. You have to do poll. Yeah, you know what? I think. Let's see, who did that poll? Was that you, Sunrise? I think yeah. Since you're a mod, you can just do polls at any point, right? I think you can just do it. I think you can do polls at any point because you're a mod. I'm not sure if that's what we're referring to. You can also do and just have a look at the options. Yeah, yeah, and that's another thing, right? All right. Well, we've reached. There's also a Twitch site about it. Yeah, do poll without space in between in chat. Yeah. I've kind of reached a point where I'm getting sick of hearing myself talk again. This happens every now and then. It's who would have thought that I would get sick of hearing myself talk. But like, yeah, it's just how it goes. So, there's another one. What, we got another poll going on, or is this the same one? Predict as Agni unicorn. There's only one person put no. Only one person put no. All right, it wasn't me. I wanted to see if it will let me vote again. It never does. So far, 95% streamers can't cast a prediction on their own channel. I think that is the most unfair thing on Twitch. Streamers should be able to have their own vote count. Hey, Chad Guy 37, how's it going? We are going to be hopping into the meditation real soon. If you want to participate in the prediction, though, it's yes, I'm a unicorn. All right, so the prediction's over. 91% of people who spent their Zen points say that I am a unicorn. All right, whatever that means, Chad Guy. Apparently, Chad thinks I'm a unicorn. I don't know. I guess I was saying it's much better to be. What, you're doing it again? Are you just gonna keep doing this poll like the entire time? Now that's a weird troll. That's a weird troll move. It's like the entire time we're doing meditation, everyone's just like voting on whether I'm a unicorn. That's like it. That's all that comes up. That's like all that we got going today. I mean, it could be one of those days. It could absolutely be one of those days. I'm not willing to discount the possibility. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, so far we've had what, 3 of them, and every time they say I'm a unicorn. Oh, you didn't mean to restart it. Sure, yeah, sure, Sunrise. You say that with your innocent vibes, right? With your innocent vibes, right? You say that you didn't mean to restart it, but no, that was intentional. I can tell. I can tell that was definitely an intentional act. All right. Sunrise, you say you'll be lurking in between studies if they come. Uh, yeah, well, cool. Whatever, whatever. If you can be here, be here. If not, no worries. No obligation on anyone. People come to hang out and chill, and a lot of times we discuss philosophy, we discuss all sorts of stuff, and now we're gonna tone the energy down. We're gonna slow things down. We're going to go within to the quiet place of peace and love that exists at our core. And we're going to meditate there. So you'll want to get in a seated position. You can sit cross-legged on the floor. You can sit in lotus pose, or you can sit in a chair. The main thing is to find a seated position that is comfortable for you. And then close your eyes, sitting with good posture. And take a few deep breaths on your own. And I have a Buddhist chant that I play that has a chime that goes off every 2 seconds. And we can use that to help regulate our breath count. Take a few more deep breaths on your own while maintaining good posture. Inhale through your nose, gently raising your belly. Exhale through your mouth, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in through your nose, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out through your mouth, gently lowering your abdomen. Stay focused on your breath. Inhale, gently raising your belly. Exhale, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out, gently lowering your abdomen. Keep your awareness on your breath count. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. The breath calms the body, and the body calms the mind. Be mindful of your breath. Inhale, raising your belly. Exhale, lowering your belly. Breathe in, raising your abdomen. Breathe out, lowering your abdomen. Stay focused on your breath count. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. The breath calms the body, and the body calms the mind. Keep your awareness on your breath. Visualize yourself sitting on a mountaintop, watching the clouds move beneath you. Two clouds merge into one, and one cloud divides into two. Those clouds are like your thoughts. Thought comes into being, exists in conscious awareness for a while, and then disappears from your mind. That is the nature of human thought. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all that does not serve you well. Your essence is love. When thoughts arise in your mind, visualize them as clouds moving through the sky and disappearing over the horizon. And return your focus to your breath count. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Your essence is love. The manifestation of love is light. Your purpose is to shine your light on others. And awaken the inner light within them. And they will shine their light on all whom they encounter. Until the whole world is lit once again. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that does not serve you well. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego that obscures your third eye vision. Stay focused on your breath. When thoughts arise in your mind, visualize them as clouds moving through the sky and disappearing over the horizon. And return your attention to your breath count. Inhale through your nose, gently raising your belly. Exhale through your mouth, gently lowering your belly. Breathe in through your nose, gently raising your abdomen. Breathe out through your mouth, gently lowering your abdomen. Your essence is love. The manifestation of love is light. Your purpose is to shine your light on others. and awaken the inner light within them. And they will shine their light on all whom they encounter. Until the whole world is glowing radiantly once again. When thoughts arise in your mind, release them and go down deep beneath the level of conscious awareness. Travel to the region of your heart chakra, the place of perfect love, and feel that love emanating from you. Feel the warmth of that love. Feel its pulsating and vibrations. Feel all the attributes of that love. That love is your foundational essence. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego that obscures your third eye sight. Meditation is about mindfulness, and mindfulness is about focus. In this meditation, stay focused on your breath count. On your next inhale, travel down deep to the heart chakra once again. Feel the love emanating from that region. Feel the perfect oneness that exists in that location. Feel the beauty and the joy that resides there. That love is your foundational essence. That love is your core. You are not the sum total of your thoughts. Your true essence lies beneath the level of consciousness. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing any ego that obscures your vision. Travel back to that place of oneness and search for the center point of your love, the place where the love emanates the strongest. Feel the energy around the center point. Feel the warmth and power of that energy. Feel the love and light glowing from that region. And when you're ready, go on through that center point. Once through the center point, you come to remember who you are. In the center point, you remember how you came to be. In your center, you remember what you are. In the center point, you remember your purpose. In the center point, you are one with the source of all creation. In the center point, you remember that all others are also pure love. In the center point, you remember the oneness that you feel for all of humanity. In your center, you are whole once again. Inhale. Exhale, releasing all stress and tension from your body. Breathe in. Breathe out, releasing all ego that obscures your third eye sight. Inhale, feeling the love and oneness at your center point. Exhale, releasing any fear and anxiety you may have. Breathe in, going in deeper into that center. Breathe out, releasing any impurity from your being. Inhale, traveling even deeper, further to the source of all creation. Exhale, releasing any residual bodily ego that exists. Inhale, filling your vessel with the purest love and light imaginable. Exhale, releasing all that is of no benefit. Gently open your eyes and return to the present moment, bringing with you the peace from this meditation throughout the remainder of your day. Namaste. Thank you all so much for sharing this sacred space with me. I am truly honored and humbled to be your meditation guide today. I hope you all got something positive and beneficial from this meditation. And I hope you feel a little more peaceful and a little more love in your life. Thank you so much. All right. How was that for everyone? How was that meditation? I really hope people feel a little more peace, a little more calm, a little more love and light in their lives. Sunrise reads, great. All right, you do. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here so much. Yeah, I always feel more peaceful after these meditations, which is good. Um, yeah, it's something. It's important, right? It's important to meditate. It's a discipline. It's an art, and it's like anything. You have to. When you go to the gym, you work out, you build up your muscles, right? And then same thing with meditation. You do, the more meditation you do, the more you build up your mental acumen. Your ability to. The more meditation you do, the more you build up your spiritual side to you. The more thinking you do in philosophy and math or whatever, the more mental acumen you build up. But thank you all so much for being here, and everything. I hope everyone is having a good experience. And I guess if anyone has anything they'd like to discuss, we can discuss that now. Otherwise, we'll go off and raid someone. We will go off into the raiding world. Maybe we'll just do that today. 20 chicken nuggets in one day is enough for me. You're half looking after your puppy. Mom life. Yeah, you have a lot of responsibility now, Sunrise. Now that you're a mom. I can't wait to meet her as well. That's going to be really cool. By the way, when are you planning on streaming next? I can't wait for your next stream. I would love to. I would love to be there if I can. Or do you not have like a set time? I typically just go whenever I feel like it, but it's usually 6 or 7 days a week. I had that streak where I went 25 days in a row, which was pretty intense just recently. But I don't know. Like tomorrow, if I do stream, it will be really late because I'm having everyone over at my place. But we will see. You might stream later today. Oh, really? You've been sleeping since 9 a.m., 9 a.m., 6 a.m., and waking up. You have a sleep schedule like I used to have, and kind of like I've been having lately. Like it's weird, yeah. Like the inverted sleep schedule where you're up during the nights and you sleep at day. You know what though? The nights are peaceful, right? When you're up during the nighttime, it's so quiet and it's just so calm and everything is great. Like 3 in the morning, everyone's just like passed out and you're up and doing things and you feel good. I used to wake up at 3:30 every morning for a while and do meditation, and it was just so calm and quiet, and the energy was just so still. It was beautiful. It's like when Swiss R does his streams, and his early morning streams, and there's no one out, and he's walking around those beautiful areas in Switzerland, right? It's just so quiet and peaceful. Because of your university overseas. Oh yeah. Oh wait, I didn't know that the university was overseas. I thought you're living in Brazil, but the university you're going to is not in Brazil. I didn't know that. Is that the case? Yeah, I miss Swiss Artist streams. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, I thought you went to Brazil because you were going to a university in Brazil. I didn't realize that you were actually going to a university in your home country, Australia. Wow. So yeah, that's got to really change things up for you, right? But you're here to be close to your family. Oh, so your family's is in Brazil. Interesting, interesting. So you grew up in Australia, your family moved to Brazil, and then but you're taking classes in Australia. Okay, online. Got it. Interesting. All right, another piece of the puzzle is solved. Another piece of the puzzle solved. Oh, so you grew up in Brazil you grew up in Brazil till you were 9, then you moved to Australia, and then you came back. Understandable. Okay, so that's what was going on. All right. Yeah, and you lived in Australia until last December. So you're still. Oh, so you've only been in Brazil like 8 or 9 months. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's cool though. That's cool. So no wonder you're still acclimating to everything. That's why when I watch your streams, you're always like, yeah, I heard this is not safe, and you've heard of things, but you're not like really accustomed to like everything that's going on there. You've only been there like 8 or 9 months. All right, bit of a tourist in your own country. That's interesting. That's so interesting, huh? You grew up in Brazil till you were 9. Well, I love it. All right. You have to make it clear when you do stream. Well, or I could just maybe pay attention more. I have terrible ability to pay attention, but yeah, I don't think I've ever heard you say it. I don't think I've ever heard you mention that before. Tindereos is back. Hey, good to see ya, my friend from Cancun, right? I believe you said you were from Cancun. By the way, what's it like living in a resort community, right? It's got to be very 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 interesting, right? Back writing more already, listening for like 10 minutes. Cool, cool. Um, Chad guy, you say so. Basically, you broke up with your late girlfriend, and now she's been threatening to end her life. Calls me at midnight, then calls the police. Tells them I've assaulted her while I'm on the way to check, and on while I'm on the phone with an ambulance. I've broken up with her because I couldn't take the verbal abuse and fake 911 calls and manipulations she's done to my friends and family, turning everyone against me. Oh my God, it's hard to completely cut all ties dealing with a bit of Stockholm syndrome. Whew. That is a lot. That is a lot, Chad guy. That is so much. That is a tremendous amount to deal with. That is yeah. You know what? I mean, I mentioned this earlier. So when I was younger, when I was 19, my sister committed suicide, and then I was dating the girl I was dating a couple years after that had suicidal tendencies, and there were times where I was going to break up with her, and when I told her I was going to break up with her, she would threaten to off herself, right? And it was devastating because I felt responsible for my sister's passing, for my sister's suicide. So like when she would threaten to kill herself if I broke up with her, it was like a nail in the heart. So I can kind of feel what you're going through. I don't she didn't call the police or anything, and she didn't do any of that stuff. But yeah, she was. I mean, that was a certain level of abuse, right? To to threaten to kill herself. But at the same time, I don't think it was intentional on her part. She was just someone who was really depressed, and the thought of me leaving her made her feel suicidal, and she attempted suicide um, a few times while we were in the relationship actually. So it was a really difficult thing to deal with. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're having to go through with that. That is one of the hardest things to deal with. I mean, breakups in general are hard to deal with, but it's hard. It's harder even in your case because she's calling the police and all that. That's got to be, man. I can't imagine going through that. Um, yeah, sorry you're experiencing that. Tindereos, you say the tourists can be annoying. Yeah, I'm sure the tourists are super annoying. And to be perfectly honest, I've never been to Cancun, but I've been to Riviera Maya, and you know what? When I was there, I was probably an annoying tourist. I was probably super annoying actually, because I mean, what do tourists do? They drink, right? They drink a tremendous amount, and then what I did is I wandered off the resort, and I was just wandering around, drunk, in Riviera Maya. And then like I met some people that lived there, and they were like driving around in a golf cart. So like I got and they said, "Hey, come on in the golf cart with us." And I was just like, "All right, whatever, cool." And then I got in the golf cart and we were driving around, and then they had to go, and they were like, we'll drop you back off at the resort." And I was like, "No, I want to explore. I want to explore." And they were like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay." So then I was just wandering around drunk, So like, yeah, that I'm sure, like that must be ridiculous, annoying, dealing with a drunk tourist especially. But at the same time, they're bringing in some money to the community, which I'm sure is much needed. Um, by the way, I'm sure there's been a lot less tourism since COVID hit, right? Everything probably shut down. Uh, because the thing they think they deserve way more because they paid more. Oh yeah, yeah. I hear that. Tindereos, the last crazy girlfriend you had, you just blocked all contacts and stopped caring. I mean, if you can do that, that's the move. I mean, because sometimes you got it. You have to detach yourself. You have to detach yourself from that person, because if that person is toxic, right? If that person is toxic to your well-being, and it's causing you great emotional stress and dismay, then you just need to do it, right? You gotta heal yourself before you can heal others and before you can help others, right? That's cool that you were able to do that. I didn't have the strength at the time to do that. I was still reeling from my sister's suicide, and then like I didn't want to lose another person to suicide at the time, and I just couldn't handle it. And we also had a lot of mutual friends too, which made it really more difficult as well, because all of so I would keep hearing about her from all of them and everything like that, if we did break up. But yeah, let's see. Sunrise, you say you're sorry you experienced this. Yeah, It's tough. It's tough. But you know, life is ridiculously hard at times, and that's why when you hear of people just going around committing hate crimes and just doing all these hateful acts, it's always just so disheartening because it's like life is tough enough, just like living and going to work and like losing your job and trying to survive, right? We're just trying to survive on this planet, and it's like we don't need all the hate on top of it. And Chad, you say the gaslighting all the time is horrible. Yeah, absolutely. That's another feature of it that makes it even more distressing, right? So she's Tindereos, you say, to which cities have you been? Are you referring to cities in Mexico, or like just cities in general? Because I've only been to Mexico. I've been to Mexico twice, and I was just in Riviera Maya, and then the route from Mexico City to Riviera Maya, and then one time I actually just came into Mexico City. We actually drove. We drove across the border into Mexico City, and I didn't know this because I was just a dumb tourist. But like I had my phone out and I was like taking pictures at the border crossing, and they were like really pissed. They were really angry with me. They were not happy at all. Like I guess that's like a big no-no. At least when I was there, it was. But yeah, then I was just chilling. Mexico City was cool because that was like more of like what I consider like authentic Mexico. I mean, I don't know if it is or not. You're the one that would be able to tell me. But like, yeah, when I was in Mexico City, it just, it's like you got to see like, how, real life. It seemed like real life. It wasn't just like a facade of like beauty, like it is in like, was like it was in Riviera Maya. Um, but yeah, and then yeah, other than that, I've just been to places around the U.S. and then I've been to Thailand. Those are the places I visited in my life. The Thailand trip was exactly 3 years ago to this date actually. So I've been having all these pictures pop up in my Google Photos thing. How they like to do 3 years ago back to this day, and it's like the worst memory of your life because it's like your ex or something, but you forgot to delete the photo or something, right? But no, this was like these are good memories actually. They were the times I got to spend in Thailand. So yeah, it was good. All right. Well, I think I usually when if there's still people wanting to talk and communicate, I usually hang out more. But I have to be perfect. I'm all about radical openness and honesty, and I have to be radical open and honest with you all right now. I'm just feeling like garbage today still. Like I did the meditation. I'm feeling a little bit better, but I just really don't feel like streaming anymore tonight. I'm sorry to everyone. I hope you're okay with that. But I'm gonna have to we're just gonna have to raid someone and end the stream. Tinderios, let me real quick see if I can get to what you're saying. You're into psychology, and there is a broken leg theory, which if there's any serious problem you can't work with, like a broken leg, which stops you from walking. Similarity to a relationship would be something the loved one do that you decided before that's a broke up reason because the action also gives information about the personality. It's true, right? It does give you information about the personality. That's definitely a good point as well. Thank you for adding that. You always add insightful comments, and it's much appreciated. Tindereos, and I'm glad you're streaming. I'm gonna catch some of your streams. Everyone, give Tindereos a follow, and I'm gonna add you to. Oh, here, let me actually do. I'll give you a shout out right now. Everyone, go check out Tindereos. Drop him a follow. He's streaming. Going to be streaming fitness now. He just started. He's new. Support him. Support his community. And I'll get you in the auto shout outs right after the stream. But like I said, I'm feeling really down and whatnot. So I'm gonna end the stream. Let's see who's available to raid. Let's see if there's who's all out there right now. Oh, cool. This is going to be kind of cool. I actually just had the pleasure of meeting one of your friends, Tindereos, or not friends or acquaintances or whatever. The philosopher streamer that you mentioned, Aristotle. So we just spoke a few things back and forth and on over we had a few DMs back and forth. So like yeah, let's rate him. Yeah, Aristotle. Was that you, Tindreos? Did you mention him to me? Or maybe it was someone else. Relect, I hope you feel better soon. Thank you so much, Relect. Yeah, I hope so too. I'm bipolar, and I can't take medication for it. So like some days I just get in a funk, and there's really nothing I can do because it's biochemical. All the yoga and meditation and everything I do, it helps somewhat, but it doesn't it doesn't do everything. So yeah, let's rate Aristotle. This will be kind of cool, kind of a good introduction, and then I get to see what he does. He's actually a PhD. He has a PhD in philosophy. He's a philosophy professor, so he knows way more about philosophy than I even know because I just have a master's in philosophy. He's gone through the program. He teaches it for a living. So like yeah, this will be a good raid for him. So yeah, let's rate him up. Give him a lot of love and support, and I hope I'll see you all later. I hope you all have love and light in your life. Namaste.